Okay, so version 3 of the 6th gen loadless timers are now out, and these ones, once again, are the by far the easiest ones to use, easiest to set up. It's easy to see what's going on, easy to troubleshoot, better performance, not as much of a resource hog, all of those good things. Um, with the additional benefit of this is reasonable to use with multi-runs. So um, it's very easy to switch back and forth between different versions. Uh, very unlike the live split one. So I'm going to go through a quick tutorial. There's a couple of bumps that still need smoothing out. Maybe we'll get them fixed. But until then, this will definitely work. So I will have a link to this in the description of this video and a link to the specific file and announcements once this is done. But until then, you can find it in pinned messages. There's a Google Drive link. This Google Drive has all of the previous versions of the load remover. You want this last one, the one that says version 3. Download that and extract it. We've got a folder that looks like this, and we're just going to run this 6th gen load removal tool. Now, once we have this, we need to open up OBS, and you're going to want to have OBS set up just however you would for a regular stream. I don't have any console set up, so I am borrowing a VOD from Mike and Nixo in order to show off what's going on. So open the 6th gen load removal tool. In this drop down bar, you're going to want to switch to OBS, and there's a second option that I'm going to go over in a minute once I get things all set up. Then hit File, Load Image, and load whichever image corresponds to the game that you're playing. This is the wrong folder. It keeps doing this. So for all versions of HP1, you're going to want to pick this first one. For 2 PS2, you're going to want to choose one of these depending on your language, and we can add more as we get more languages. HP3, this one. If you're playing on HP2 Xbox, you're going to want to pick either New or Xbox GameCube. These are the same image. The folder just needs a little bit of cleaning. These ones do not work. Don't use them. Just go ahead and delete them. The background changes onto Xbox. You're going to want to use these two because it doesn't have any in the background in it. But this is a HP1 Xbox run, so I'm going to pick HP1. And you're going to see we're going to get a preview of OBS down here in the corner. And then the test image scaled to match our window in this corner. And then you're going to want to get the game into a spot where you've got a loading screen. So I'm just going to run this for a couple seconds and then pause the video. So there are two easy ways to get OBS stuck like this on a loading screen, just to make this setup easier. Either A, record a short segment and then add it as a media source and just pause the video once you get to a loading screen. Or in scenes, you can right click the scene, click screenshot. That'll save it to wherever your videos are saved, and then you can add an image. I'm going to need to navigate to that folder. Nope, and it'll be this last one. And it'll just add the image over the top. So those are two easy ways to do this. That is not what I wanted to do. Delete that one. So once we're paused on this loading screen, we're going to go back into the Loadless tool, and we're going to select the region that matches this corner, this image in the corner. Now these images have been selected so that there are fairly reasonable landmarks to look for in order to match the two. So for example, you're looking for the left side of this window, the peak of this building, the right side of this pillar, and the bottom right corner of this pillar. So I'm just going to choose a section that looks close, and then we can change X and Y and then width and height in order to get it to match. So that's about the leftmost pixel of the window. That's about the topmost pixel of the building. There's the side of the tower. And there's the bottom corner of the tower. And you'll see that this number right here might be a little hard to see with the resolution, but we've got this 20.09. This is a live reading of the comparison of your game feed and the test image. The test image is taken directly from the game files or from an emulator or something like that. So it'll always be a higher resolution than what you have down here. But it's pretty easy to just get something that works. This box below it is going to be our threshold value. We get to decide that ourselves. So you're going to want to literally just play through the video, find a number that is in between what it is when you're on a loading screen and when you're not. So I'm going to mess with this for a bit, see if I can get a higher value. Looks like that 20.9 was about what I'm getting. Okay, yeah, so we got like 20.8. This is going to be good enough. Now I'm going to play the video for 5 or 10 seconds. We're pretty consistently sitting above 20 on a loading screen. Once we're off a loading screen, we're getting down in the 15, 17 range. So I'm going to put down 20 here as our threshold value. So now whenever we start our timer, if this number is above 20, it's going to pause. Now make sure we also have options to save presets. So I'm going to hit save as and say this as one Xbox example. And then whenever you're ready, hit start. I'm going to put live split on the screen. Make sure live split is comparing against game time as always. Hit start. Now I'm going to start the timer. Restart the VOD. And you'll see once we get to this loading screen, this number will go above 20 and the timer will stop. Now this is just as accurate as the previous versions of the Loadless timer. We were not able to find any differences in the calculation of loading times. So this is something that we can use immediately for speedruns. So yeah, this will just be allowed on leaderboards. So that was setting up one game that took us about 10 minutes. I'm going to switch over and we're going to start a second game to show you this is really pretty easy to set up and easy to switch between during a live run setting. So before you change any settings, always hit stop or the program will crash. Leave this set to OBS. We're going to load a new image. I'm going to load HB2 Xbox GameCube. And I'm going to switch over to the feed of Mike's run. Pause when we get to a loading screen. And we're going to try to capture this again. This one's a fair bit harder because we're using such a small portion of this image. Again, this blue section changes, this background moves, which makes it very difficult to capture to get a good image for the Loadless timer otherwise. So we need to do it with this really small image. We're going to line up with this corner up here. Set the top to that black line. And shrink the height till it's there. Now we're getting like, 17, a pretty decent number. Once again, Run the video. See, this is sitting above about 17.5. Drops down much lower. Okay, we'll set this at 17.5. And again, just whatever number works for you. Save as to keep the template to Xbox example. And then we're going to restart. Hit start here, start splits, and it pauses on the loading screens and resumes. So that one, having already explained everything, took about 2 minutes to set up. This is much, much easier to work with. We get a live preview as it's going on. Now, if in Task Manager you're getting really high resource values, like above 15 to 20%, you can try disabling the preview. That can help a little bit. It'll still function perfectly in the background, but these previews will stop moving. There is also a show diff, which let me get back to a loading screen. This will just show the difference value between the given image and your image. This is kind of a garbled mess when you're dealing with more pixelated images, but this can sometimes be helpful. Like we're seeing, we have these bright spots of yellow, so I can probably shift over this image by a pixel and get a better result. Let's try that. Yeah, getting like a marginally better result by shifting things over a little bit. But yeah, this is just a lot easier to set up. So I've also mentioned this can be used in multi-runs. It's very easy to switch between your presets. Hit stop or it's going to crash. File, open. Pick your other preset. And it'll automatically reselect the region. Update the image. So if I switch back to the other video, everything's already set up. And you have to, of course, remember to hit start before you get back into the run. Now, one issue that can come up with this that we do not currently have a solution for is this uses the absolute region in your OBS window. So if you resize any of the elements in OBS, it can throw off this positioning. A solution to this is going to be a little more resource intensive, might be a little bit more annoying to manage, is if you right click and do windowed projector, this will always open this preview window at the same resolution. Like if I stretch it, close it, and open another one, it's going to maintain this resolution. And it will only show the things that are inside of the broadcast region in OBS. So you can, instead of looking at OBS, you can look at, where is it? Did I close it? Windowed projector. Oh, refresh. Windowed projector preview. And then if you set up your Loadless timer to match this window instead of all of OBS, you will get something consistent that does not depend on OBS movement or the size of the elements in OBS. Again, we may be able to get a workaround for this because Discord already has a workaround for it. We will see. Until then, this is a fairly unobtrusive option. Let's see, we're at 6%. Yeah, this isn't raising usage values very much. It does, however, crash if you close the windowed projector. Got to be careful about that. But yeah, these are the options. So with this general reminder, returning runners are expected to be retiming their own runs. This should make this even easier than ever to do this. so long as your screen isn't a garbled mess. This is really easy to use, very customizable. And we should, in the coming weeks, be transitioning the multi runs for 6th gen into a loadless format instead of a with loads format, because we now have working loadless timers for all 3 games and a way to easily switch between them during runs. So, yep, that's it. If we get an update to the loadless timer that works while being able to handle resizing of windows, we will let you know.